Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Thank you for being here. We do begin at this hour with breaking news. A man is in custody following an hours-long standoff at a home on Spokane's South Hill.
That is where we find KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk live at the scene at this hour. And Kyle, what have you learned?
Well, so far, Spokane police have not said what this suspect is wanted for exactly, only that he is tied to some recent events and that police say they plan to release more information later tonight. But take a look at this video. Our cameras were there as a man in handcuffs was brought out of this house about 2 hours after this standoff started. And we also talked to a man who said he rents the house where all these vehicles were surrounding. He said he heard people come through the screen and assumed it was his roommate, but then he saw the SWAT vehicles outside, so he ran out the door and he's been unable to return home as of right now. He says he does not know who this suspect is. Right now, 29th is still blocked in both directions near Manitou. The SWAT standoff is over, but you can see behind me some SWAT vehicles, police vehicles still here. 29th still blocked, traffic being diverted, but we're going to remain on scene, try to get more information, learn what this suspect is wanted for, and of course his identity. We'll update you just as soon as we learn more. Reporting live in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. KREM 2 was the only camera in the courtroom today when a Moses Lake man pleaded guilty today for killing his wife after picking her up from the Spokane airport.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was there. Tonight she brings us more from the courtroom.
For the last 8 months, Charles Bergman claimed he is not guilty of killing his wife, Teresa, whose body was found in a tall grass field here in Lincoln County. Now he is pleading guilty to the crime, and in court, he told his children he is sorry. In September last year, a Lincoln County farmer found the body of Teresa Bergman in his field. Teresa went missing after her estranged husband, Charles Bergman, picked her up from the Spokane airport. She had just returned from a trip to visit her former boyfriend. Bergman was arrested for his involvement in her murder and maintained his innocence until now. Bergman pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in Lincoln County Court. He will now serve 15 years in prison, a sentence both the state and defense attorneys say is a life sentence due to his age and declining health. Bergman's children spoke in court today, both with a different opinion on his sentence.
My mom doesn't get to go on with her life, and at no point should my dad ever get to go on with his.
Given the nature of the 15 minimum, I would request that he gets the 13-year.
After the hearing, Seth Bergman, the defendant's son, told me his reaction to the judge's ruling on a 15-year sentence.
My father definitely deserved 15 years. Do I forgive him? No.
That's complicated, I think.
It's very
hard.
complicated.
Since Bergman pleaded guilty, that also means he waived his right to appeal. Reporting from the Lincoln County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
In other news, the teen who shot and killed another teen in Reardon back in February pleaded guilty this afternoon.
17-year-old Cody White pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and unlawful possession of a firearm. Now, we are not showing you his face because he was tried and convicted as a juvenile. Now, White shot and killed 15-year-old Shadrack Hall Turner while they were playing with a gun. White was sentenced to 2.5 years in juvenile confinement and rehabilitation. In other news, the end of the homeless camp near I-90 known as Camp Hope is in sight. The city confirmed today the camp will be closed on or before June 30th. Jules Helping Hands also told KREM 2 earlier this month that they're on track to have it completely vacant within the month. The population at the site has been slowly declining since the implementation of new rules and fencing at that camp. Now, WashDOT and the city have agreed on a final date to get everyone out. The city says once campers have left, cleanup will happen almost immediately to restore the state-owned property back to its original state. Happening today, the North Idaho College Board of Trustees has until the end of the day to respond to an evaluation about the college's actions over the last year. A peer evaluation team from the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities visited the college last month. They interviewed students and staff for their report, which could then help determine NIC's accreditation status moving forward. This all comes ahead of a series of meetings in June where the commission will discuss whether NIC should keep its accreditation. All right, let's take a quick break from the headlines to talk weather. The warmth and sunshine from Memorial Day continued into today, but slightly cooler weather is expected tomorrow. Let's send it right over to our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, to talk about what's still coming.
Ooh, how about more heat? I guess it's summer.
Yes, it is, just like a switch.
Right? Yes. All right, let's dive in Turns out the unofficial start to summer kind of becomes the official start to summer when you take a look at the forecast. Here in Spokane, we sit in the mid 70s right now, 77 degrees, and that looks to be about where we've topped out today here and across much of the inland northwest. It's temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow winds up just slightly cooler, but all in all, you're not going to notice much of a difference. We do have a little trough trying to work its way through. Basically, you can draw it on here. There it is. And then as it works its way toward us, it is going to try to bring us some showers, but those stay a little bit farther to the south, a little bit farther out to the east, and we wind up pretty dry. All in all, it looks like a mostly dry day. We'll see a couple more clouds in the afternoon, and that is about it. It is looking like a warm, dry, summer-like forecast in the days to come. Tomorrow, a little cooler, 75. Thursday, back in the upper 70s, and by Friday, it's getting hot. We're back up to 80, and over the weekend, it looks like we top out in the mid and upper 80s, and even early next week, the potential for 90 degrees stays in the forecast.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Now looking ahead to a story that we are working on for you tonight. When it comes to unexpected phone calls, it can be difficult to really know who's on the other end of the line.
So when one of our viewers named Linda got 2 calls from someone claiming to be the CDC, she reached out to our Verify team for answers. So tonight on KREM 2 News at 6, see how we helped Linda verify who was actually calling her and why. Plus, we have more tips so you'll know what to do if you get an unsolicited phone call.